You know that feeling when you're on a busy motorway, maybe the M25, M1, whatever, and you're very aware of the big lorries around you.
Yeah, that extra focus. You see them, you register them differently than just another car.
Exactly. And if you're listening now, chances are you're someone who likes to be informed, right? You want to get the knowledge, but maybe without digging through tons of reports yourself.
Well, that's what we're here for today.
We're doing a deep dive into motorway safety, specifically looking at an incident, quite a serious one, between a car and a left-hand drive lorry.
Yeah, and we're drawing from an article over at Free Car Mag. It details a very personal, sort of eye-opening account. Really brings home the dangers of blind spots.
It really does. So our mission, if you like, for this deep dive is to unpack that, understand why these things happen, and crucially, what steps you can take to stay safer out there, all based on what the source tells us.
Okay, so let's get straight into the incident itself then, as the article lays it out. We're talking about the M11 motorway, specifically between junctions 6 and 7. And the timing is important, too. It was busy Monday evening, back in January, around 5:30.
So already dark then?
Oh yeah, well after sunset.
Yeah.
The article mentions it was an unlit section of the motorway, too. Cold, but crucially not raining, so the road surface was dry.
And the vehicles. Always interesting to know what was involved.
Yes, so there was a car, a 2015 BMW X1. And the article notes it has a 5-star Euro NCAP safety rating, which is relevant later. That was driven by the author's aunt and uncle.
Okay.
And the other vehicle involved was a left-hand drive lorry registered in Poland.
Right, LHD. That's key here. So paint the picture. How did it happen?
Well, the BMW was in lane 2. It was in the process of overtaking the lorry, which was cruising along in lane 1. They were doing about 56 miles per hour, according to the article.
Pretty standard motorway speed.
Exactly. The critical moment, the point of impact, happened when the BMW's passenger side mirror was roughly level with the very front of the lorry cap.
And that's when the lorry moved.
That's when the lorry started to move over from lane 1 into lane 2.
Oh, wow. Okay. And the impact?
Pretty severe.
Eep.
The front of the lorry caught the rear passenger side of the BMW.
So it sort of spun it?
Yeah, the article says it twisted the car sharply, dragged it forward for a bit, and then the BMW ended up off the road in the ditch beside the motorway.
Good grief, that sounds absolutely terrifying.
It does. The passenger apparently described feeling like the car was just about to flip over.
I can only imagine.
And the driver, her uncle, was just fighting the steering, trying to keep any control at all.
What happened once they stopped?
Well, they used the BMW's SOS button, the emergency call system. And the response was really quick. Highways maintenance and the police were apparently on scene very fast.
That's good to hear. And the car, you said it ended up in a ditch. Was it badly damaged?
Surprisingly, no airbags went off. No glass was broken either.
Really? Despite that kind of impact?
Yeah, but the structural damage was significant. The car was a write-off.
Wow. Okay. And the lorry driver, what did they say happened? Why did they pull out?
The explanation given was simply, he didn't see the BMW. It was in his blind spot.
The classic blind spot issue, and particularly tricky with left-hand drive lorry on UK roads, right? The main blind spot is on the wrong side for overtaking here.
Precisely. And the highways maintenance officer at the scene apparently commented that these kinds of incidents involving European HGVs are sadly quite common.
That's worrying.
It is. It highlights that fundamental issue with the driver being positioned on the left in a country where traffic keeps left. That near-side blind spot becomes much larger and harder to monitor. Plus, unfamiliarity perhaps with UK signs or junctions for some drivers.
Did the article mention anything else helpful from the scene?
Yes, one positive point. The BMW had dash cams, front and rear.
Ah, crucial.
Absolutely, for understanding exactly what unfolded. And here's a sobering thought. The article also mentions that just a week later, almost the same spot on the M11, same time of day roughly, there was another serious collision involving a lorry.
That really hammers home the potential risks, doesn't it? And it brings up that wider point about, just how many left-hand drive HGVs are actually using UK roads these days.
It's a good question. The article points to a ROSPE fact sheet. That's the Royal Society for the Prevention of Accidents. From March 2021, it confirmed this is an increasing trend.
So more LHD lorries over time?
Generally, yes. Over the last decade or so, there was apparently a bit of a dip during the recession, 2008, 2009.
Makes sense.
But the numbers started picking up again from about 2013. And there was a Department for Transport survey back in 2009, which gave some interesting figures, even back then.
What did that find?
It estimated about 1.5 million trips were made by foreign-registered HGVs in the UK each year.
1.5 million trips. Wow.
And covering around 1 billion kilometers on our roads, billion with a B.
That's a huge amount. Are these drivers just passing through occasionally?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
That same DFT survey found the average driver visited the UK about 52 times a year.
Once a week, basically.
Pretty much. Yeah. And around 7% were visiting over 120 times a year. So for quite a few, driving here is, well, it's a very regular part of their job.
Okay, so these aren't all drivers unfamiliar with the UK.
No, although familiarity doesn't eliminate the blind spot issue, of course. The survey also showed they were mostly male drivers, aged 25-54. Average UK stay was just under 2 days, like 45 hours. Average round-trip distance within the UK was about 400 miles.
Interesting details.
And one other point, a small number of these foreign lorries were actually driven by UK drivers and the vehicle type. Mostly the big ones, 91% were articulated lorries.
The tractor and trailer units? Right, okay, so we have lots of these LHD lorries, driven often by experienced professionals, but that inherent blind spot problem remains, especially on our side of the road.
Exactly.
So the big question for anyone listening, for you driving on the motorway, is what can we do as car drivers? How can we stay safer around them? The article actually consulted an expert, didn't it?
Yes, Tom Hogg. He's an experienced advanced driver and observer with the East Surrey IAM group. That's the Institute of Advanced Motorists.
Okay, and what was his advice?
It's really about being proactive. Anticipation is key. He says look well ahead, way beyond the HGV in front of you. Try to see if they might need to change lanes soon, perhaps to overtake another lorry themselves.
So you can react early.
Precisely. Be ready to change lanes yourself.
Huh?
Maybe move over early to give them plenty of space if they do indicate or start to move.
And when you're actually overtaking one.
If you can,
Yeah.
and it's safe, give them a full lane's width. Don't squeeze past right next to the cab.
Create that buffer. Yeah, makes sense.
He also mentioned being aware, try to spot if it is an LHD lorry. Look for, foreign number plates, company logos you don't recognize. Just be mindful it might have that larger near side blind spot.
And the golden rule.
Stay out of the blind spots. If you can't see their mirrors clearly.
They probably can't see you.
Exactly. Don't linger alongside them either. Make your overtake smooth and efficient. Don't just sit there.
Okay. Any other advice from him?
Always be thinking about an escape route. What are your options if things change suddenly? Can you change lanes safely? Could you brake hard if needed? Could you accelerate past? Or maybe just drop back and create more distance?
It's about having options, not getting trapped.
That's the essence of it. Don't let yourself get boxed in.
Right. Now, that's advice for car drivers. What about the HGV drivers themselves? Is there anything they can do or technology they can use to help with these blind spots?
Yes, the article highlighted something quite interesting here. A company based in Portsmouth, Lens Tech Co. Ltd.
Okay.
They make something called the high-view Fresnel lens.
A Fresnel lens, like the ones in lighthouses.
Sort of, but much simpler. It's basically a thin, flat, clear plastic lens. It's inexpensive, and you just stick it onto the passenger door window of the truck.
And what does it do?
It gives the driver an extra angle of view downwards, towards the area usually hidden in the blind spot right next to the cab. It works for both left and right-hand drive trucks, too.
Ah, so they can potentially see a car, or maybe a cyclist, that would otherwise be completely hidden.
Exactly that. It helps them see vulnerable road users in that critical zone. Apparently, fleet managers who fitted them have reported fewer minor bumps and scrapes.
That sounds like a really practical, low-cost solution.
It seems to be. They offer different models, PVC or acrylic, costing around £8 to £10 plus VAT. And importantly, official trials by VOSA, that's the Vehicle and Operator Services Agency. Now, DVSA showed fitting these lenses did reduce sideswipe accidents, both how often they happen and how bad they were.
That's compelling evidence. Is there info on where to find these?
Yes, the article gave the website, lens-tech.com, specifically their truck lens section. And they're on Twitter, too, at @NoBlindSpot.
Okay, good to know there are technical solutions being used. The article also makes a strong case for advanced driver training, doesn't it? For everyone.
Absolutely. It really emphasizes the value of courses like the IAM Road Smart Skill for Life. The author mentioned doing it themselves.
And that teaches a specific system.
Yeah, the IPSGA system, information, position, speed, gear, acceleration. It's all about developing better hazard perception, anticipation. Basically, making you a safer, more aware driver.
It's not just about safety, though, is it? The article suggested it makes driving more enjoyable, too.
What often does, yeah.
Oh.
When you feel more in control and confident, It can definitely enhance the driving experience. It's about lifelong learning, not just passing the test years ago.
And these IAM groups, they offer ongoing support.
That's right. They're described as clubs for friendly car enthusiasts. They help you maintain those skills, organize events. It's a community aspect, too.
If people want to find out more.
The place to go is iamroadsmart.com/courses.
Great. One final point the article touched on, which seems incredibly important, is vehicle safety ratings.
Yes, specifically checking the Euro NCAP crash test ratings before you buy a car.
It seems obvious, maybe, but how many people actually do it? Knowing how well a car protects you in a crash
could literally be a lifesaver. It's fundamental. You can find all the ratings and detailed reports on the Euro NCAP website,
which is euroncap.com. Definitely worth checking before your next purchase.
Absolutely. So, wrapping this up, we've really dug into the dangers of those motorway blind spots, haven't we? Especially concerning left-hand drive lorries here in the UK.
Yeah, using that specific incident on the M11 as a stark example. But we've also looked at practical things, what you as a driver can do.
Like being more aware, anticipating, giving lorries space, understanding their visibility limits.
And for the HGV side, things like those Fresnel lenses showing that technology can help too.
Plus the huge value in advanced driver training for everyone. And always choosing cars with good safety ratings.
It all adds up.
It really does. Which leads to maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to take away.
Go on.
Just consider. If everyone was a bit more aware, if more drivers took these steps, if more trucks had visibility aids, how much could that collectively shift the needle on motorway safety statistics? It makes you think about your own habits, maybe, and that shared responsibility we all have out there on the road.